Government contracting is a beast. I've never done anything like this before, and it can be challenging, right? But with anything in life, if you're vested in it, if you invest money, time, your resources to learn it, then you increase your chances significantly of winning a contract. So what are some of the ways you can increase your chances? Kawana, number one, come in before your course. I knew nothing about writing proposals or where to look for opportunities, right? And so that gave me a great foundation. And then from there, the learning doesn't stop.
All right, so I am here with the amazing Kim Ali, who is also a client in our $1 trillion government contracts accelerator program, as well as went through trailblazing through our 5-day challenge. I don't even know how long it's been. It's not even 6 months, I want to say, right? Probably about. It's been a year. Time flies.
I know.
So fast. But I know that, you were like one of the clients that we highlighted for like being able to land a contract within weeks. It was like 5 weeks within, going through our program. And now you're back because you've landed even a more larger contract. And I love voices of small business entrepreneurs who are out there doing it. And I see that you're a go-getter, right? You're a go-getter. And that's one of the things that separates those who are trying to get government contracts and those who are actually out there winning. You have to be a go-getter, right? So so tell me about this new contracting opportunity that you've landed and what was the journey for you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
absolutely. So just want people to know that there are non-traditional ways of landing government contracts. So what do I mean by that? Well, I'm very active on LinkedIn. Before I came into government contracting, I dibbled and dabbled on the corporate side. And so because of that, I had to be visible on social media. So maybe about a year ago, what is his title? He's like a program manager, director of a federal agency, started following me on LinkedIn and just watching, and I've learned that the people who never comment or share are the ones that are watching you and they're just waiting for the moment to buy. So anyway, one day he slid into my DMs and he's, I really love your content. Can you come in and do a speaking engagement? It was for Martin Luther King Day. So went in, did a speaking engagement. And so just a little tip for any of you speakers or trainers out there, when you do your engagements, you always want to be aware of what are the challenges are in the organization. So for example, ask questions, look at the chat box. And so from the chat box, I was able to identify that, this organization has some challenges, right? And so I'm not just going to walk away and leave money on the table. I'm going to take what I see in the chats, because this was a virtual presentation. So I took what I saw in the chats and I pitched it to the director and they loved it. And I told them what I wanted. This is what the cost will be. And they love it. So right now it's currently in procurement. They're doing the contract because it's a sole source. If you're new to government contracting, a sole source is a contract that is only awarded to you because there's something specific or unique about your business that only you can provide to the agency. So instead of it going on SAMs or going on a GSA schedule, there's no bidding process. It just gets awarded to you. So you always want to try to, get those type of deals. And so, it's a 6-figure contract. And the beauty of it is that it's a pilot. So it's a small group. And if it goes well, it will be rolled out to the whole agency. And there's about 5,000 people in the agency.
Wow, that's so powerful because, I talk a lot about building relationships with agency contacts and procurement officers because those relationships are key. And you don't necessarily have to, you definitely want to have an email communication going or CRM or something like that as well. But most of the important key point of contacts are also on LinkedIn. And it's interesting that you said that they had been watching you, which is lets you know that you need to be posting, right? You need to be posting what you do, your expertise. You need to do something to stand out in the marketplace because they literally are watching. And not to mention that these agencies, they have problems that they need to solve. So I love that, that you saw the problem and you pitched a solution. So, because I always talk about you have to become a solution for the government and help them solve their problems. And so, yeah, no, I think that was amazing that, firsthand experience that you saw a solution that needed to be a solution to a problem that needed to be addressed, and you pitched it and they awarded you that six-figure contract. So this was like, okay, so tell me, so this was like, what number contract is this for you? And I know the first one was like 23,000,
Yeah.
23,000. So what is the size of this one as well?
This one, well, the pilot, it's about 175, but if we roll it out to the whole agency, you're talking probably 7 figures.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's huge. And typically, because I know your work, because of your work ethic, I know that you're going to do great service. So you can pretty much expect, right, for it to be rolled out to the whole entire agency,
Yes.
which is going to turn into multiple million, if not multiple millions, right? Yeah.
Exactly. And another tip, just want to share with the audience, is that if you know that one agency needs your services, 9 times out of 10, other agencies need it too, right? And so that's your indicator. All right, let me start pitching this to other agencies as well. So yeah, just don't stop there. Keep going.
Absolutely. Okay, so as far as like pricing, right? So you landed your first contract probably about a year. Was it a year ago? It's been a year. It's been a year.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
landed your first contract a year ago, and that kind of helps you understand. Was that helpful for you to understand like your value and the pricing when it came to pitching this one and putting all that together?
Yes and no. The first contract was for the city. Federal is so many nuances and laws and regulations that you have to understand. And you have to do your market research, right? Because you want to know what are other agents or companies charging to deliver these services as well. So I will say this, the first contract I landed gave me a great foundation. But within this last year, I've been reading and researching and just, trying to learn from other people that are in the industry just to make it better because it's competitive out here, especially at the federal level.
Yeah. So this is your first or second federal?
This
Oh, the
is
first was city.
my,
This is the first was city. So this is your first federal.
yeah, this would be, I guess, my second federal because the first one was a speaking engagement.
Yeah. Okay. So tell me about, the whole process of putting together a pitch, because
Mhm.
traditionally, sometimes people wait for the opportunity to come to them and they respond. But this is proven that you also can identify an opportunity and pitch it. So tell me about that whole thought process, and what was that process like for you putting everything together?
Yeah, so during the engagement, and that's my strategy moving forward, because I don't like one and dones. You can't deliver transformation in a one and done encounter. So I'm always looking for ways to go back into an organization. So you always want to keep your eyes and ears open. What are the opportunities? If you don't see any, ask. What's going on with your agency? What would you like, support with? Once you have that information, you want to jot it down. You want to write down how you can deliver services or product to address that challenge, and then what will be the outcome or the transformation. Once you have that all together, you set up a meeting with the decision makers, and then you walk them through, listen, this is what I identified, this is the solution, these have been the outcomes in the past. Do you find value in this? If they see the value, then you can go ahead and tell them your cost.
So I know that about a week ago, I received an email from the Biden administration, and they were talking about the federal promise to small businesses and women-owned businesses, especially minority and women, increasing between now and 2025 from where it is. Currently there was a 5% goal. Now that goal is increasing up to 15%, which that federal budget dollar is going to go up to $90 million
Mm.
a year, right? So those are opportunities that are currently on the table for women and minority-owned businesses. So for anyone that's been on the fence about government contracting, is it real? Is it a scam? Can this work for me? Or they're not really helping us or whatever. What do you have to say for that person to help them?
Oh, that's a loaded question. So the full transparency, government contracting is a beast. I've never done anything like this before, and it can be challenging, right? But with anything in life, if you're invested in it, if you invest money, time, your resources to learn it, then you increase your chances significantly of winning a contract. So what are some of the ways you can increase your chances? Kawana, number one, come in before your course. I knew nothing about writing proposals or where to look for opportunities, right? And so that gave me a great foundation. And then from there, the learning doesn't stop. You got to get your certification. So since I graduated from your program, I'm now service disabled veteran owned company. Now I'm looking at how to get on the GSA. I want to get my 8A, right? And so those narrow the playing field, because what I've noticed, contracting officers are trying to make it easier to award people, right? So when you have your certifications, it makes it easier for them to award you. How to read RFPs, right? Because if you don't respond to what they want, if you miss just one item, it could disqualify your whole proposal after you've spent hours working on it. And just being in a community with other government contractors, people that you can bounce ideas off of, get feedback from, will help accelerate your chances of winning as well. Is it hard? Yes. Is it doable? Absolutely. You just have to commit yourself to doing the work.
So and that was very well said. So you had a speaking engagement and got paid for the government. You've also did a training on diversity and inclusion and got paid for that. Now, what other types of training services are you looking to get paid for by providing that type of training to the government? What are some of the other opportunities you've seen?
Yeah. So right now with this current contract, it's for leadership development. But I know people that are doing, gosh, what else? Mental health is a big one. Human capital. What else is out there? Marketing, right? So if you're good at designs and websites, pretty much anything that you are selling, the government will buy it pretty much.
I love that. All right. So what's next? What's next for Kim? And where are you looking to grow as far as your business when it comes to whether government, corporate? Is there a aim in mind for you?
Yeah. The thing about DE&I, diversity, equity, inclusion, and leadership development, it's great, but there is a cap on how much money you can make. And so I'm looking to branch off into services that are more lucrative. So for example, construction is one. IT consulting is another one. Those are like the 8-figure contracts, right? So just, trying to form strategic partnerships with other companies that deliver those type of services. So that's on the government side. Corporate, I've niched down to oil and gas and energy. I actually just launched a podcast that's for DE&I and energy. And that alone is just bringing in leads on the corporate side. And maybe doing some coaching, helping other women start their businesses as well is something that I see down the line.
Yeah, so super. I told y'all she was a super woman. So thank you so much, Kim, for, of course, sharing your inspirational story and your success. And, let us know what's happening next. And if there's anything, of course, that you need support with or whatever that we can do to continue to support your success. And so I appreciate you for sharing your story. Of course, it's always enlightening. And for those who this will touch and help them understand the opportunities, definitely, I think that you're a great leader and example that government contracts could literally, transform your business and your life.
Yes. And Kawan, I just want to say, what you are doing is amazing. I see you shining and you are impacting so many people, and just, continue what you are doing because you're reaching the masses.
Thank you.